We're live.
Oh.
What's up, fish heads? Welcome back to Waterbox Live. It has been a few weeks, but we're back. I'm sure y'all have missed us.
I hope so.
The better.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're gone. Bye. No.
We got a fun show for you guys today. We're talking about my favorite coral. We're also, I'm sure, are we giving away some monies?
Yep. So we'll have a giveaway two $100 Waterbox gift cards, and of course, the currency to win with that is always be active in the chat, engage, drop your questions because we've kind of changed it up to have more time for each stream for question and answer. So start dropping them so the guys can grab them. But our topic today is star polyps. So that's what we're going to go for.
You either love them or you hate them.
This is true. I would love to see everyone put your questions in there too, but also as you go, let us know if you love or hate star polyps because, like you said, they're usually pretty divided on which way they go. Mm-hmm. Not because they're a bad coral, just because they grow so fast. Yeah. And they can take over if you don't do it correctly. So we'll talk about care, all the considerations with them, and all of that on that topic. But make sure you are dropping your questions in the chat, so we were going to spend some time on answering them live.
Yeah, and again, we are giving away two $100 gift cards, so make sure you guys put questions down below. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what you think about green star polyps. It could be anything. We don't know you're there if you don't comment, so definitely post some questions and stuff below, and that'll kind of get you entered to win in a way.
I think we should start with, why are they your favorite coral? Because anyone who's followed lives, videos, anything, all of our builds knows that Rich's favorite coral is the green star polyp. But why?
So I think it's mostly because, like, when it comes to reef tanks, I like things that are easy to keep.
Okay.
I've been down the road where I keep, like a full-blown SPS tank, and it's super challenging, super time-consuming. I've done that, and as I've gotten older and been in the hobby for longer, I appreciate things that are a bit simpler, I guess.
Okay.
And also, I don't know, I just think they're really, I love the bright green. I love that they're easy to grow. I mean, I know in some tanks they're like too easy to grow.
Yeah.
And they go insane.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things is when I was in San Diego, I was at Aquatic Warehouse, and I already like star polyps, but I saw what I thought was star polyps growing on a dead SPS coral.
Yeah.
A big dead SPS coral. Turns out it was actually a branching star polyp, and I was like, are you guys sure that's actually what it is? Turns out, it's actually a real thing. I think, Keenan, you got a video of I think some from here.
In the LX shot that you guys have, the big one with the clown.
That's an example of one. Go ahead and put that one up.
So right there in the right corner there, that's an actual branching star polyp, and I think that is so neat. And we've been a good friend of our trend fan sent us some, and we've been growing a bunch of different colonies here, right?
Yeah, I remember it was like 6 years ago that you found branching star polyps, and it was on, and not an easy thing to find. Trend fan had them. I think he sent us a frag of it 5 years ago.
It was
4 to 5 years ago at least.
In the old studio, yeah, so probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah, and we've been kind of just growing it throughout all of our aquariums since, but it is really unique. It looks like a super, super fuzzy SPS whenever it grows and branches like crazy.
Yeah. So that's my real favorite green star polyp variation. And I don't feel like that one grows as insanely as the other one because it's not carpeting. So you're not like just covering a bunch of rock, right?
It's true because it doesn't just spread out onto surfaces. It does spend a lot of its effort growing into branches, but it goes nuts in its branches as well, though. Because like we've had big chunks here, and it's just like, a foot wide of just interworking. They're not branches; they're just soft outshots of green star polyps, but it is really cool looking. But I guess it doesn't spread across the rock as fast as a standard star polyp, which is would be the number one reason why the people will not keep star polyps.
Yeah,
is because you could call it invasive. It definitely can take over an aquarium.
I love invasive corals.
You don't have to do anything. You're like, done, happy.
And they're bright and they're green and they grow. You don't want it to take over your tank, obviously. But like on the 110 over there, I love how they're like growing up the back wall. Like that's something you can do is like encourage them to grow on the back wall and they're not growing on your rock?
It is. So on the invasive part of it is if you're going to keep star polyps, and I think they're a great coral, they have a lot of color and movement, is you have to put them in a strategic place.
Yeah.
You go and put a chunk of star polyps in the middle of your big rockscape, you're going to curse it to all hell. Like, it's just going to be bad. So you either need to put it off to its own kind of corner. You want to put it on its own island. You can have it grow on the back glass and let it fill in. You don't want it to be able to take over like the big center or main part of your rock work. Now, if you accidentally had placed some on your rock at some point, not realizing it was beginner choice or whatever, and it started to take over, you can kind of peel it up. But also, if you take like rock rubble or frag plugs, and like
Frag pegs.
and line around where it is, it'll grow onto those, and then you can remove them. And it's kind of like border trimming for them. But you do have to be really careful where you put them.
QMN Jim, sorry if I butchered that, says neon. This is a good point. Neon green over mint GSB, because there are like a mint color.
Yeah.
I agree. I like the neon.
There's a lot of hues of green.
Yeah. I wonder what causes that. Where do they come from? I should ask my phone. Steven says he hopes it takes over his entire tank. I do too, Steven. It'd be great.
We've talked so many times about just making a star polyps tank just for you, just covered in it.
Just fill the entire thing, let it grow on like every surface except for this.
Yeah, so you can see up here you have a lot of bright green, but if you go down another row or two on the images, scroll down, you'll see like one right there, like second one in from the left or whatever, how it's like a lighter green. They do come in a lot of varieties of colors.
Yeah, third row down, second from the left. Yep. Is that what the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
it's a lighter green, it has more of a brown base. So there is a lot of color variations, but most definitely neon electric green, because if you have a nice star polyp cluster in your aquarium, I guarantee from across the room, it'll be the first thing you see. Yeah. Like, it is one of the brighter corals that you can have. There's a one that looked like almost a full star polyp tank. Care on them. They'll grow anywhere. That's simple facts. I guess the only time you'll have problems growing them if your tank is too clean, because they actually will not grow in like a super, super clean aquarium. Then you need some nutrients. Lighting requirements. They could care less. Pretty sure they could live in a dark dungeon and probably do pretty good. Water quality, they can handle pretty not great water quality. Don't prefer super clean. Flow, they don't care. They don't care about much.
They can get blasted. Keenan, can you look up where star polyps grow in a natural reef environment? I'm curious of that. I always think of that.
You know what? Every single either fish or whatever we brought up has come down to like, where are they at? We need to look at this before we come on here.
We really should. We really should. Some of them I know, like the obvious ones, but like some I don't.
It's like star polyps would take over every reef. They got to be everywhere. I know they definitely come from Indo. For sure. We used to get them in Indo shipments.
Sometimes people answer that when I put it in here, or when I mention it.
I feel like they probably have a pretty wide range, but they're definitely a great coral to fill in. I've seen it done before too, especially for people that do bare bottom. I've seen it where let it grow across the glass, and it's just like a lawn on the bottom. Yeah. Very cool looking. Your back glass is very neat. Even though you prefer a clean back glass, so I'm surprised that you like them growing on the Marine X.
I think it looks kind of cool.
I can't read that.
Can you read that?
I mean, you probably can. I can't.
Tropical waters, Indo-Pacific regions, like in Fiji, shallow to moderate depth. Star polyps thrive in shallow to moderate depths along the upper reef edges.
So Indo, Fiji, Tonga. So yeah, pretty big variety.
Yeah, wide variety. Even on substrates, dead coral skeletons.
They grow on anything.
Yeah.
They will actually, because star polyps grow and they actually have this like mat that they grow for the polyps to go in. So they can come out onto your substrate. They can grow off of stuff. They don't even have to have like a stable surface. But it also makes them pretty easy because you can, and it's kind of gross. I mean, you kind of have to really tear them up. But you can peel them off of rocks too because they have that mat. You get a razor blade or your nail under and kind of peel them back. Is another way to like frag or trim them if you needed to.
Yeah.
So just use caution if you're getting star polyps. They're a great coral. place them smart so you do not 6 months from now only have a star polyp tank.
I think that I kind of like corals that are rather invasive in an aquarium just because it's not like the super high dollar stuff.
I mean, your goal was the aquarium that was like minimal care, just all fills in and grows. That's why soft coral is
I
definitely.
mean, it's a great way to start
Get
too.
fresh water.
Yeah. Keenan says just get fresh water. But no, I mean, like, it's a great way to start, and it's satisfying if you can get those corals growing naturally. Once you're successful with like those soft corals, you're going to start trying to dabble in other stuff. But
They're very forgiving. Put them in as your first coral, even if things go kind of wacky in your aquarium, they're not going to care too much. So it's a good way to start and kind of gain that confidence.
yeah.
Oh, you're the reef. I should probably bring that up while they grab some questions.
Yeah, so guys, if you're following along with Year of the Reef, our video is supposed to drop on Sunday. There was some sort of error with YouTube. It ended up dropping today, so that's live. But the giveaway for this quarter ends on Monday. So if you haven't already, visit waterboxaquariums.com/YOTR and sign up for that giveaway. We'll be drawing that next Wednesday, I suppose.
You'll announce it?
Yeah, we'll announce it. It'll be drawn on automatically, but we'll announce who wins it next Wednesday. So
5 days left.
yeah, so 5 days. Get over there, get it filled out, and if you haven't followed along with Your Reef, check it out. We're going through an entire year of setting up and maintaining a reef aquarium.
Yeah. What week are we on? Episode.
We just
Episode.
passed 13.
Okay, so 13, which would mean 26 weeks. We're halfway through the year.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been 6 months. Wow.
Yeah, so there'll be 26 episodes. If you guys are setting up a reef now, you can start following along.
Yeah, so we're all the way up to the last one that dropped was fish nutrition. So, all the way through setting a refugium, how to pick equipment, like everything that you could need to know to set up an aquarium. And then we're going to go all the way for the full year. So we're about halfway through. And then once this giveaway ends, the next one will open up for the next 3 months. So, you can do all the actions and stuff like that for that one as well. So just make sure you're following along. It's a great series, lots of great information, especially if you've never set up an aquarium.
Yeah, so John says he saw someone's reef tank that had nothing but green star polyps covering all the rock and the sides of the tank. He said it looks amazing.
I mean, it would be really pretty.
Yeah.
But how long can you be entertained by that?
Probably not for real long.
But it'd be something cool. Especially if you're like going through a time where you're like, look, I can't really maintain this. I'm just gonna let this fill in and be pretty, and then eventually you can kind of redo it. Because star polyps does not really require any specialized care. Doing your basic maintenance, you're good.
Will clowns host on Star Polyps?
Clowns can host on anything their little heart desires. You don't really know. But yeah, I have seen them rub on rocks, like nice big patches of star polyps, just because it does have a really good movement pattern, especially if you get the ones that are a little bit longer. There are so many variations of star polyps. There's really short ones. There's bright. There's mint. There's brownish. There's a lot of types. But if it's more long and wavy, and your clown is really not very biased against what a host in, it could. Got some questions?
Yeah, we can start with some.
We need to get a larger horse head like that and then grow some sort of coral around it.
Ah.
It doesn't have to be star polyps. We could do like a favia or something.
Cyphastria.
Yeah.
Cyphastria is perfect for that.
Quicker.
Yep. Yeah. You used to always do like different shapes and stuff with Cyphastria because it grows so close it keeps the shape to it.
I don't know if this is a good question,
Oh. All right.
but is it more related to products?
Yeah. Is there a fish tank storage shortage going on? Can't get anything. Why? Well, Divergence, first off, tell us, where do you live? That would be
That does matter too.
no doubt that it's definitely harder to get a lot of the fish. I mean, it's not as common to see as much variety, I would say. Would you agree?
I'm saying fish tanks, aquariums.
Oh, fish tanks. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about fish.
Also where you're from, but still counts. But it's just revolving. It's just constant.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors affecting that. It's summertime. Our industry slows down. There's tariffs. I see you looking at me like, what is he going to say? There's a lot of tariffs affecting things, but yeah, no, it'll all correct itself eventually. But I don't know if you're referring to Waterbox or another brand, but I wouldn't doubt if it's more of an industry-wide thing.
Yeah, and even with the ones that are out of stock or in stock timing when you place your order is not really that far out. It's just really just kind of like consistent process, really.
Yeah. Order now.
Just get it, order in, and it'll ship as soon as we have
it. The thing with an aquarium is it's going to take you some time to plan, get the equipment. You know, everything involved with it takes time. So like, it's not like you're going to get an aquarium and then get it the next day and then get it all set up and the equipment in it and the water and the cycling. So it all takes time. Will GSP be okay in an aquarium with lower pH like 7.7?
I think consistency is more important than technically the number, but honestly, I think star polyps could live in a toilet. I mean, like, they can really, toilet. Yeah, a saltwater toilet, but they can make do a lot. I don't think it would be a huge deal to them. You'll learn though, even with things like leathers and star polyps and stuff with these soft corals that are super easy and they're considered a beginner and like all that. Certain ones you'll just find, be like, okay, it just won't open. Maybe the alk is a little bit low. They're forgiving. So they could live with this low alk and be really mad and closed up for probably months at a time. And you correct it and make them happy, and then they come back out like nothing happened. Whereas if it was an LPS or an SPS and they're unhappy about something,
just die.
You got days probably to figure it out with some of these corals. Whereas a star polyp could be like closed and pissed off for forever. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then it comes out and I'm happy. So it really depends. 7.7 is not crazy low. But I would look to see why you're at 7.7 because you do want to really sit more around 8 as a normal number. And it should, naturally.
So divergence answered. So just trying to back up there.
Yeah, he said Master's looking for AO 65.5 or 65 with a black stand.
Order now, you'll have it soon.
Yeah, order now. You can also reach out to support at Waterbox, maybe. I don't know what dealers we have in Massachusetts.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a dealer locator on the website, so you can check and see what their inventory is because they do have inventory on hand sometimes when we do not. And then every model does have an expected ship by date if you place your order. And most of them, it's just a couple weeks. Yeah. So it's not a huge thing.
Yeah, there's containers arriving all the time. So it's not like, you know, it's constantly coming in, going back out. So could you do a tide pool type tank with them?
Oh, heck yeah, man. They could be out of the water for a long time, too, if you have it really actually with tides or whatever. But, yeah, shallow water, deep water, bright light, low light, they don't really care. You're pretty good. I guess it's like the ultimate coral.
Yeah. Who would win a tank over, or who would win in a tank over GSP or Xenia?
Ooh. I'm going to say star polyps. Only reason is that Xenia, even though, however, like crazy growing it is, I don't think it grows quite as fast, but it also is a little bit more picky. Xenia is very picky about nutrients. It's about flow and also alkalinity. So it may be an easy invasive coral when happy. It is a little bit harder to keep it happy. Ken's laughing back there, and I don't know why.
Can you put different strains of GSP near each other?
Oh, for sure. Some may grow faster than others. So you just have to keep an eye on who maybe is taking up the most real estate, but they don't sting. Green star polyps, the only thing they really can do is like cover the skeleton and grow and kind of annoy other corals. So them together, you could have a tank with 6 different types of them, and they would grow all happy together. I wonder what he's laughing about.
This one. I knew that's what it was.
It's a figure of speech.
I have an issue with my clownfish staying in the corner, but he will come to the front to eat. I'm using, what does that say?
Prezi Pro?
Prezi Pro, but he is still staying in the corner. Anyone have any advice?
If he's staying in the corner in your main aquarium, more likely he's coming out to eat, he's eating fine and everything, most likely he is being bullied by somebody, and he does not have free rein to swim. He's just willing to risk it for food and then just go back to his little huddled corner. So someone's probably messing with him. You might notice his fin's a little bit tattered up, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be physical aggression. It can just be dominance related. to where he knows that if I come out into the open area, I'm going to get my butt kicked. So I'm going to stay here. I'm going to grab my food, and then I'm going to run right back. So that's a personality thing, which leads to like aggression or bullying, not a sickness thing, because you would have other symptoms.
Yeah. Great question. What's a good sump cabinet LED lighting?
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
We use FLEDs in ours.
Yeah, true.
So you want really bright and fancy, you can go with that. It's programmable. But
The good thing about those too, I mean, maybe questionably a little pricey, but they're extremely waterproof. They're IP68 rated,
That's
so
true.
they'll last a very, very long time under there. Whereas if you buy just LED, those strips that you like cut and hook up, they might not last very long. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because most of your LED, even the fixtures, like the under cabinet fixtures they have, and there's 5 million of them on Amazon. You can have them like motion activated, all that kind of stuff. Is they're not meant for humid environments, much less saltwater environments. So they're not going to last you. I mean, plan to replace that probably every 6 months to a year, whatever you're putting in there. But with like an aquarium light like the FLED, it'll be under there forever, because it can handle that environment. But there's so many different ones out there. I can't say that there's any that's going to be particularly better, unless you like ask our group for people's suggestions.
I don't know
but
offhand.
none of them are going to last that long if they're not meant to be in the aquatics realm.
Yeah, so the FLED is a good option. If you don't want to do that, just look up like IP68 rated LED strips or something.
See what you can find that might
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Depends on how you want to mount them and how fancy and stuff you want to get to.
Should the weir come off my Marine X 110.4? I think maybe some silicone got on it, so it doesn't remove. Let me know.
Yeah, it does. It does pop off. If anything, sometimes a little bit of silicone might hold it on just slightly. You can kind of just loosen it up and you'll be fine.
Yeah, just try to spot where it is. And,
Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything that eats GSP?
Yeah, coral eating fish will. Depends on what. I mean, puffer fish will probably scrape it off of rocks, maybe triggers. I don't think there's anything that's like designated to eat it, but it's a coral, so generally coral eating fish will pick at it. Now, if you have a whole tank covered and your whole aquascape is covered in GSP, there is no fish that is going to like take that out. So I don't think you have a specific one for that, but others may graze on it here and there.
It's kind of crazy that they could eat that and like not be poisoned.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think of all these things like angels and everything else and rabbitfish and stuff that are not reef safe. Like, they eat chunks of mushrooms and zoos and leathers and like, all this other stuff. It can't taste good. It just can't.
No. That'll be very bitter. I have a nano tank with a large rock covered in GSP. I'm transferring to a new 20-gallon cube. Should I move the entire rock or cut a small piece of GSP and glue it to a small piece of rubble?
I mean, it really depends on how much if you want your new aquarium to be star polyps. Because that one big rock is just going to continue to grow. Unless you can like put it off to the side and have it like its own island or something. But I would say because of how fast it can grow, you probably want to be able to put it somewhere that you maybe can control a little bit better, depending on how it grew in the last one, is to take a small frag of it and just start from there. It's going to grow. You can let it fill in as much as you want. But I feel like half the time the fun of setting up a new aquarium is to be able to kind of redo and consider what corals and stuff that you are keeping. So I would not fill in a huge chunk of it with a star polyp.
Thank you, Chris.
I don't have any more immediate questions right now.
No?
I'm looking for one.
No worries.
I guess everyone already knows about their star polyps. Have you noticed the general consensus of people saying yay or nay on star polyps? They like or dislike?
I've been
A lot of
reading.
people like them.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah?
reading. Most people.
Some people are just like, they're too invasive, but
I see people trolling me about star polyps in a filter roller.
I wasn't sure to bring that up or not.
God, y'all are so mean. No.
It's mostly Sean.
Yeah.
Guys, we appreciate you being here. You want to draw some winners?
Yes, just give me 1 minute and we should be good to go.
I suggest you guys check out branching green star polyps. I don't know how easy they are to find. You know, to be honest, I don't even feel like I really see green star polyps in stores very often. Like, the stores don't even really want to sell. I'm blanketing this, but
Yeah.
I don't go to that many stores, but I don't feel like I see them.
No, I mean, stores are generally not going. I mean, it also depends on where we're at, because where we're at here, we have a really amazing selection of stores and a lot of high-end stuff. I mean, a lot of stores in our area here locally are known throughout the U.S. for some of the best corals. Now, in the middle of Idaho or something, that store may have more star polyps and stuff because it's just easier access and stuff. Yeah. But a lot of stores are not going to designate a large amount of space in their coral farm for a star polyp, which is what, $15-20 versus a $100 coral. And then it overgrows, and so suddenly, tell you what, if a star polyp gets off its plug and onto your frag rack, now you're scrubbing it off and it's growing like crazy. So you generally aren't going to see a ton of it. Super like electric green, you just see a couple frags of, and they just kind of grow it just to have it. But you also figure how many people with aquariums are probably just giving star polyps away to all their friends and anyone in their reef clubs and community. I feel like it's everywhere. Yeah. And it's easy to obtain. So you're not going to find it in a lot of higher end, saltwater stores.
True.
So it should be easy to find if you're looking for some.
So again, you guys.
However, the branching, I don't think still have not really ever seen it anywhere.
I've not seen it in a store.
No.
I saw it at Aquatic Warehouse, and TranFan was nice enough to send us some.
Yeah. I wonder if it even is in listed that many places. I've never tried to Google to find it for sale, but I don't think that's something, which is crazy because it still grows fast. It's not made its way throughout the market very heavy.
Yeah.
All right.
Ready to go?
Good?
Yes, sir.
All
right. Let's give away some monies.
Ready?
Divergence and John Manroe. Congratulations, you guys. Both of you email winners at waterboxaquariums.com. Let them know if you're in the U.S. or Canada. They'll get you hooked up with that pretty soon. As always, we appreciate y'all being here. We will be back next week.
We are back next week.
And then we'll be off for at least 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I will be gone.
Yep.
So
definitely join us next week. We'll give away some more money. I'm going to talk about something else, take your questions. And don't forget about Year of the Reef. That giveaway does wrap up on Monday. So get your entries in and do check out that series.
Yep. See you guys next week.
See ya.
Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. For more information on Waterbox Aquariums, visit waterboxaquariums.com.
We're live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to tune in, and we'll see you next week.
You